Hello, friends and fellow seekers of the good, true, beautiful. It's Mike here, and this is a novel update. I am still in New Mexico and loving my time here. I'm still working hard to get all these books out to the potential readers and reviewers that are out there in the world. Probably am coming toward the end of that push for the first two books and working in the background on finishing up the work on the second two books so that they can come out on time a little bit later this year, which I'll be talking more about in future videos. But for this video, I thought I would take a step back and answer three kind of big picture questions about the tetralogy and why I wrote it and what I'm hoping will happen for people who read it. And first of all, I don't think many people are familiar with the word tetralogy, but I'm bringing it back. It actually means a series, a package of four. It means a series of four books. And often when you see people talk about book series in the book world, when they talk about a trilogy, they talk about a duology, and then they talk about a four-book series. And I'm like, come on, tetralogy is a great word. So I am bringing it back. So I encourage you, as you talk about the Pearlsong Refounding, use the word tetralogy. Let's get it back in the lexicon. But to my questions, the first question that I want to answer is what inspired me to write the tetralogy? And it really goes back to this fascination that I've had all of my life with the power of words. I've noticed both in my own life and the lives of other people how speaking a word or a phrase at a key moment in someone's life has the power to either completely devastate them or give them wings to fly. I've noticed this in my own life as well. I've heard it said that with our words, we make the world, and I have definitely found that to be true. I wanted, I think through the books, really it was just an exploration for myself to explore this idea of what makes words so powerful and how they have this capacity to shape reality. And I thought a novel might be the best way to do that. I was very curious to explore through the narrative how words shape not just ourselves, but shape society. They shape religion, they shape government, they shape the way we perceive reality, they shape what we see or don't see. And all of that, I think, is a great idea to explore in the landscape of a fantasy novel. And so that was the original impetus for it. And as I was pondering all of this through the early years of my adulthood, one day, Gideon just sort of popped up out of nowhere in my imagination and said hello. And I very much got the idea that he wanted me to tell his story. And what has been so fascinating to me is that even though Gideon is the through line for the narrative, he was initially a connector. He is the one that pulled me into a world where I met, and you will meet, a whole host of characters, and all of them have a story to tell related to their relationship with this concept of words and the power of words and how words affect us and how words shape the world around us, and how not just the things we say, but what we believe about the things we say change everything about what we think about reality, but also how we perceive our own identity and our true self. And so I wanted to explore that concept and just see what the story could reveal through it. So that really was the inspiration for why I wrote the tetralogy. And then there's so much more that came out of that as I got into the topic. Second question, who would you say that these books are for? I would say that these books are for all other people like me who love the magic of sci-fi and fantasy and love the delight of getting transported into another world where they can go on these great adventures and do all of it inside of their own imagination. I think it's a very wild magic that I can read the words that someone else wrote, someone that I've never ever met, and we can have this shared experience on the page, a co-created adventure that is all in our minds. To me, that magic is real. It's an intimate, beautiful thing, and one of the greatest treasures of my life has been and continues to be reading, like being able to open up a book from Thoreau or O'Donoghue or a poem by David White and just have this intimate exchange between me and these people that I've never met, but to co-create something together, and this alchemy that happens in the context of language is magical to me. And so I really love the idea of diving into a story that I have created, but also know that everyone who reads the Pearlsong Refounding will create the world within the story with their own imagination, and will have its own flavors and its own colors and its own landscapes. Even though I describe all that stuff, there's a way that it is alchemized in this connection between me and the reader. And for me, that's a kind of magic that I just love. And I think fantasy is one of the most powerful mediums for that magic to occur, for that alchemical magic to occur. And so I think anyone who loves that kind of experience where they get to co-create this sort of fantastical world, and then in that space to have a real human experience with real characters who are going on real arcs of transformation, to experience the fantastical and beautiful and tragic and heroic things that happen in the story within themselves, and to just delight in that process, and to have it to allow the story to have its effect on them. I think anyone who loves that is going to love these books. And that doesn't just mean people who are necessarily fans of fantasy literature. I think it's obviously more attuned to people who love fantasy and science fiction, perhaps, but I think anyone who loves that kind of interaction with the magic of words and the magic of storytelling will love this story. So I'm excited about sharing it with anyone who has an interest in that. I think particularly too, well, this gets to the third question, so I'll just go ahead and answer that question. The third question is, what are you hoping that readers will experience from reading the Pearlsong Refounding? So in addition to the what I consider to be the immense delight of going on a great adventure in another world, some of the best writing in fantasy, and really any other genre, raises important questions about what it means to be human, and what it means to love, what it means to be a real part of a community. And I think particularly when it comes to this series, it raises questions about what it means to be made whole as a person. And especially, or even if you feel that you've been broken so badly, or that life has hit you so hard that you don't think you'll ever be okay again, or that you'll ever have what it takes to function in a normal way or in a healthy way in society or in the world. Many of the characters within the story, including Gideon himself, and probably Gideon especially, that's their story. Is one of the key questions I actually ask, is anyone too broken to come back again? Is anyone too far gone to come back, like to make it back to some semblance of joy and wholeness in life? And that question comes up again and again throughout the narrative, and different people in the story address it in different ways. So, but some of the fantasy stories that I have read have also explored that question, and they have had a huge impact on me and my own journey. I'm one of those people who grew up feeling like I was so broken by what happened to me early in life and by the struggles that I had growing up through adolescence and into adulthood, that I would never be okay again and be able to function in the world in any kind of normal way. And this quest for wholeness, this quest for becoming who I was meant to be, has really consumed a lot of the passion of my life, most of the passion of my life. And some of the fantasy stories that I read early on really impacted me with embedding in me a deep hope that it actually is possible, that, that I could actually experience that kind of healing and restoration. And I hope that maybe for some people who read this tetralogy, that the Pearlsong Refounding will have that kind of impact for them as well. That's what my highest hope is for readers who experience the Pearlsong Refounding. And I have some anecdotal evidence that it is happening that way. I've had people from many different walks of life, from different parts of the world, already send me private messages, some of which I will share on my website in time, because I've gotten permission from them to do it. But I will share some of these stories of people who have experienced profound transformation in their own lives by reading this story. And that's been such, even though it was my highest hope, it has been really kind of a shock to me, because the book is not a therapy book, it's a fantasy novel, but people see themselves in some of the characters, or have seen themselves in some of these characters, and they've grabbed onto the hope that is intrinsic in the book. I had one reader put this phrase out to me in her review of the books that I just love, and I'm going to totally steal it. She said, of the books, the evil is real, but so is the hope. And that's, if there's anything I think that captures what I want out of the story for myself, and what I want for other people, it's that. Like, yeah, there's some really bad things that happen to us in life, and the evil out there is real, but so is the hope. And there is a way that you can get through it to a place of wholeness. And this story ultimately is a story of redemption. And it's a story of what is possible when people of normal, everyday people grab hold of that hope and refuse to let it go. So that's actually what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for people to get that hope out of this story. And I've gotten it. So, and I've had some people who've written to me to tell me that they've gotten it. So I know it's in there, and I'm excited to get. That's actually why I'm so excited to get these stories out to as many people as possible, because I know right now, probably more than any time I can remember in my lifetime, my God, we need hope. We need hope right now. So I'm excited to get this out, to get some hope into the hands, literal hands of people, and to have them find the thread of life and hope and joy and possibility again in their life through this story, because the evil is real, but so is the hope. So those are the three questions I wanted to answer today. And I look forward to telling you more. I mean, there's so much to share about the books, but for now, I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for your time today. And thank you, those of you that are reading the books, thank you so much. Please remember to leave reviews for them. If you haven't already, please subscribe here on my Substack and follow along. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe here on my YouTube channel and follow along. I'd love to have you along for the ride. If you go to thepearlsongrefounding.com and Put your email in there. I'll send you a free I'll send you the prologue for the first book, Gideon's Dawn, for free. It'll just come right to your email. If you're considering reading the book and you just want to get a taste of it, go ahead and do that today. Just check it out. Just check it out and see what's there. So more updates to come in the weeks to come, but for now, I'll just leave it there. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you have a good one. See you in the next one.